Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Lady K Chat, a podcast that is designed for men and women to become better versions of themselves, which is broadcast every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Various subjects will be spoken upon, such as relationships, health and wellness, personal development, wealth building, children, and so much more. She is a two-time Amazon best-selling author, an international speaker and life coach. She is Lady K. And now for your host, Lady K.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lady K Chat podcast. You are with your favorite host, Lady K. I thank you for tuning in with me this evening. We are in the month of February, and we are going to celebrate the month of February with Black History. And I would like everyone to introduce, my words today is this tongue tie. Oh my gosh. I've been doing this all day, guys. Somebody help me out. Look, and the earring fell out. It just don't like me today. I was trying to secure it before we got on, but it just, listen, it's not working today, guys. I'm just going to take it off. But everyone, please help me welcome my guest for today, Mr. Freddie Taylor of Urban Intellects. Welcome, Freddie, to the platform. How are you today?
I'm great. How you doing today? I appreciate you having me.
I thank you. I always tell people I thank you for accepting the invitation because you could have not, but you're here today, so we have a lot to talk about. And you know what, Freddie, since I mentioned in the opening, we're talking about Black History Month, and I know this has always been a controversial subject, but I'm going to poke it today because I know you're the right person I can do this with. Freddie, why did America give us the shortest month of the year to celebrate our greatness?
That's a good question. Yeah, you are trying to poke the bear today. I see.
Yes, I
am. But I mean, it originally started with Negro History Week, right? With my guy, Carter G. Woodson. I got him on the wall right here. Nice. That's my man. But he actually did it in February, so it just kind of expanded from there. Okay. But I don't look at it as a slight because I feel like Black history needs to be studied 365 days of the year anyway. So this month is just for them. We're going to celebrate all 12 months of the year every year anyway. So I don't look at it as a slight. I just look at it as an opportunity for them to learn something about us, but for us to continue to learning about ourselves.
Right, but here's the kicker, right? Sometimes they keep telling us about the same people, and no shade to Dr. King, no shade to Rosa Parks, no, because there was the wave, they did pave the way, but it's like, why y'all keep talking about those same people? We know what they did. Pull out the ropes and let's talk about the other people. You feel me?
I feel you 1,000%, and that's something we say around here at Urban Intellectuals. Like, it's crazy because they really talk about the same 8 to 12 people, right? Every single year. So from kindergarten through 12th grade, there's the same discussion on the same 8 to 12 people. And I say it's 12 in the more progressive districts, right? Because that's like getting out there on the fringe of our knowledge base. But I believe that that's deliberate. I know that that's deliberate. That's the only way that it would be the same thing, right? Because they're just trying to keep us into this little box of understanding so that we continue to ring the bells of America's greatness. And we don't see ourselves as anything bigger than just Africans in America, right? They're trying to keep this narrow view of ourselves. But, it's companies like us and people like you that want to expand the conversation that brings other wonderful people into the discussion. Because there's so many. Our history is so deep and illustrious. It's really a shame that we only study.
It really is a shame because you know what, Freddie, I'm going to share this towards the end because growing up, like I said, I heard of Frederick Douglass, Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, the great Dr. Martin Luther King. And as I got older, and of course, too, as you know, technology starts to advance, now we can pull more information. Because remember back in the day, if it wasn't in the library, we couldn't get access to the information. Yeah. But the internet is a total beast.
Yes. Yeah, we have no excuses now, right? So if it's important to us, then we have to take the time to do the additional research to bring that to our children, or you can just rock with us at Urban Intellectuals. We already got the stuff laid out for you. We go far beyond the 8 to 12 people that's mentioned.
And I was going to say that too. Like, I appreciate what you're doing on your end, how you're bringing our history to the forefront so people can learn. But one day I was on Facebook, Freddie, and you blew my mind. You put something up regarding to a post-traumatic slave syndrome. I said, what? What's that? I said, no. Freddie got to tell us what's post-traumatic slave syndrome, because I never heard of that before. I heard a little bit, but I was like, I got to have him on to elaborate, because it goes hand in hand of what we're talking about today, and how the suppression, and then how in history, how some of the things that we don't realize what we do today, it carried on from our ancestors. So, Freddie, can you tell me a little bit about this book and what it's about?
Well, I got the book here, actually. Let's see.
Okay.
I swear I just saw it. There we go.
Yeah, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy.
Right.
Fascinating read. I'd recommend it for everyone if you really want to get a thorough understanding of some of the things that's been done to us in this country, but the lingering effects, right? So most people are used to post-traumatic stress syndrome, right? Like, so you're having a stressful situation, and that event like lives in your cells and it's carried on, and you have reactions based on the traumatic episode that you went through. Well, Dr. DeGruy in her book shows really how the history of slavery has been encoded into our genes, into our cells, into our behaviors, into our belief systems. And it's something that we're still struggling with today. In fact, it's just being multiplied by misinformation, like the same 8 to 12 people during Black History Month, the narrow view of the African in the diaspora here in America. It's just exacerbated by all of these things. But a lot of stuff that's happened to us over the last few centuries, we're still dealing with, but we're not talking about it. We're not seeking counseling about it. We're not traveling the world to see all of the lies that are being put in front of us. But she just does it eloquently, way more eloquently than I in this book here. So it's definitely a strong read and recommended, highly recommended.
I definitely want to get that book, and I'm gonna allow you to read some quotes out of there so we can have a discussion around it. But before we do, you hit it right on the nail when you were saying some of the stuff that we encounter back in slavery. And I tell people this all the time: if they don't know the history, I forgot his first name, but his last name is Lynch, and he was a slave master. And what he did was go to the islands and he traveled all around the world to teach the slave masters how to divide us. He said, separate the husband from the wife, separate the children from the mother, and then separate the light skin from the dark skin. If you continue to do this, this will go on for generations. And he was right, and he knew exactly what he was doing. And a lot of people are like, really? And that's when the terminology lynching comes from. It comes from him, and a lot of people are unaware of that. Did you know that, Freddie?
I didn't even put that 2 and 2 together, to be honest. Yeah, really? But Willie Lynch is who you're talking about.
There you go, Willie. I couldn't think of his first name, right? But a lot of
I'm very familiar with the maniacal, diabolical Willie Lynch, right? Like, so there's some evil people in this world, but he was an evil genius in that they really had a formula for breaking us, right, as a people. And I think it's significant to note that American chattel slavery was really different from other slavery around the world. I'm not saying that it was better. I'm not saying that it's all terrible, right? But the thing that they did here is, they really, Dr. John Henry Clark says the worst thing about the American slave system is they colonized God, right? So they not only took our history, they not only took our culture, they took our traditions, they took our memory, they even took our God from us and made it look like them. And all of this is part of, Willie Lynch and their whole system of terror that they put onto our people. But it's something that's still lasting with us today. We have a lot of issues that is ruminating from that.
It's so true. And one thing that you just said to me, and it triggered to me when you said our God. And I am a Christian. I do believe in the word. So I always tell people this, right? Because if we want to go to the beginning in Genesis and how they talked about the slave, with the Israelites and everyone, how they was in Egypt. And I tell people all the time, if you look at the map, right? If you look at the tip of the map, because they want to talk more about what happened in the Mideastern. If you look at the map and where Egypt is located at, And that Red Sea is right there, the connection to Middle East. I'm like, I need y'all to thank people, like you said, the image that they portrayed. No, that was our color.
Yeah,
it was our color.
I'll go a little bit deeper and even go into the Middle East, right? Like when you go deeper into the history, that whole area was black. Like the whole history of the Middle East is all black. Like, so this notion that this pale-faced white-skinned guy was blending in this area is really absurd, because even on the other side of the river is in the middle, quote unquote, the Middle East, right? Or Western Europe, Asia, is black people. Like all of these civilizations in that area was all us before the so-called Arab moved into that area. It's fascinating. I say a lot of our misunderstandings as black people will be solved if we just got a general understanding of history. Like if you just understood history, you could dispel all of these notions. And then it's crazy because you mentioned the technology. We got these phones in our hand, and you can literally find out anything, but we're not feeling like
we're not using it. Right. We're not using it. Like when I was younger, my mother tried to drill into me, you should read about this person and read about that. But when you're young, you don't really get it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Okay, mommy. But then as I got older and I got hungry and I was ready. See, that's the key thing, Freddie. We have to be ready, because you have to remember a lot of us are still stuck. Like you said, how Dr. wrote about the post-traumatic syndrome. I'm gonna have you read a little bit so you can educate us. But a lot of us don't know that we're stuck. It's just like when Harriet Tubman went back for the slaves, saying we're free now, and they're looking at her like she crazy. Like, what you talking about? They don't even know that they free. That they don't even know that they conform and they trap themselves in this mindset. And that's why so many of us are afraid to jump out and do new things. Would you agree?
Absolutely, and that's today. A lot of us need to be saved today, but we don't even understand that we're still enslaved. Sure, you're not in physical bondage, but you're definitely in mental bondage. Probably worse off today than we were hundreds of years ago. And I only say that because hundreds of years ago it was overt in your face. So black people knew. Listen. We better team up, because if we don't, they gonna get us. So it was obvious. And today it's covert. I like to say racism light. It's not so in your face. So a lot of us are still sleepwalking through the day as if we didn't witness last month people storming the Capitol building and seeing stuff like that, right? Like that was insane, right? Those people are still out there. Right, the sons of the revolution, the Confederacy. They're in the Capitol building with the Confederate flag. That is like the most.
In Nancy Pelosi office, chilling with his feet on the desk. How disrespectful! Let me tell you something. And I said this, and I'm gonna say this right now. If that was us, we wouldn't even made it to the steps. We'll be splattered all over. Okay.
Shot on the spot. Yeah.
And that right there, for everyone that tune in and listen, for the people who say, oh, we're not racist, bull. Yeah. I'm not going to curse, but I'm going to say bull. I was annoyed, Freddie.
I'm not going to say I get excited when I see things like that. That's not our fight. We're not about to be in American Revolution, right? Like we need to be in our own revolution if we're going to be in one. But those people I get excited because it reminds black people, like, man, these racist folks are still out here. Like they are out here, and they voted for President Trump. What is it, 74, 75 million people voted for this dude who's just like an overt racist. Like they are out here. So a lot of us that are still sleepwalking today, I think it's moments like this that you get a little, let's wake up. I feel like President Obama put us to sleep a little bit, because it was like, we got a black president, things are cool. Then Trump got in office and folks was like, wait a minute. Like it was a good reminder that these people are still out here. They're still in power. They're still seeking power. And we still need to do the things that we need to do to get ourselves together, this nation, inside of this nation, right?
And Freddie, to be honest, if you look at it from a standpoint, if you really step back and you looking down, it has nothing to do with, it's just control. That's all what it's all about, is just to control us. Yeah. And, like I was going earlier, because we're confined in certain mindset, some of it, for some of us, is seceding. And other of us, we're like, oh, I see my eyes are open now. And let me get out of here and make this paper. And I'm going to talk about this paper real quick, and then I'm going to let you go into this book. But I have to say one thing, and when it comes to finances, we really think that we have to put hard labor because that's what we was used to, the hard labor, not realizing if you think smart and use your brain another way, you can probably do something 10 times faster than just using your hands because you're only one person. And what you don't realize, when you work yourself to death, your body is going to start to deteriorate.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a relic of a past economy too, right? Like there was a time where you could bend your back and really work your way to the top. But that economy is kind of gone now, right? Like we're going to have to start working together. We're going to have to start working smarter. But I think that together piece is really what we're missing. I know you don't want to delve too far into the economics, but every group in this country practices community economics. And our community seems to be resistant upon it. And this is the only thing that we haven't tried. Like we haven't tried coming together, right? And before segregation, integration, we were forced to come together. But then when you look at the economic numbers before integration and after, our numbers were far stronger preceding integration. And it's not to say that we shouldn't do business with anybody else, but we should do business with each other first. So when we start doing business with anybody else, we come to the table as equals rather than, hey, massa, if you could give us one of them dead jobs, or if you could buy some of our business stuff, we can start eating and, like, man, stop begging. Like, let's unite as a people. And then when we come to the table, we come as equals and we come, trading equally rather than begging for something. So.
Absolutely. And I'm going to piggyback off of you and I'm going to leave it. And how about this? And Massa, where's my stimulus check? I had to throw that in.
Come on.
I had to. I'm sorry.
$1,200, whatever it is.
No, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people are grateful and they need it because times are hard. But what Freddie and I are trying to say, stop placing yourself and waiting for them to come rescue you. They're not going to rescue you. You're going to have to use that money. Just like right now, I'm a Bitcoin freak and I'm in the cryptocurrency world. When a lot of people got their money, that Bitcoin shot up and it shot up past 40,000, in last month. So this now is and it's continuing soaring, but a lot of people are starting to pay attention and they're woke. So now, Freddie, let me go and ask you, can you open up that book for me? And can you just give me like a quote or a line that you can read us from that book?
I got something better. I want to tell you this story from the book that really, this really like drives home the point of what freedom is, right? And what's really at the core of our problem. So just give me a few minutes, indulge me, right? So Joy is she's in San Francisco. That's where she's from, right? She lives in San Francisco area. So she's out there, it's heavily Caucasian area, right? So, we're usually outnumbered, right? So she walks into a bank. She's waiting in line, just, minding her business, waiting to do her business with the bank. Inside of the bank is a Black woman with her daughter. A little Black girl, they about 7 years old, 6, 7 years old, right? Curious age, right? But the Black girl is standing right next to her mama and her mama is keeping her close. Little white girl, about 6, 7 years old, same age, is in there with her mom. But the little white girl is dancing around the bank, right? Having fun, twirling, doing what kids do, right? The bank teller gives her a piece of candy. She's over talking to the office manager. She's touching stuff, playing little paper airplanes, twirling throughout the bank, right? Having fun. The little Black girl is watching, but they're kids. Of course they want to play with one another, right? But the mama is grabbing her like, nah, you can't go out there, right? Because we know the dangers that can happen to our children. So she's just being protective, being a mama, right? Mama gets to the teller, starts doing her bank transaction. So the little girl is at the counter. And what are kids gonna do? Mama's preoccupied. She starts sliding away, right? Sliding down the counter. Now Joy, being a mama herself, eyeballs the little girl and kind of like, get back over there by your mama, right? Because we know the danger that she could be in. We're gonna protect her. Somebody could snatch her. We don't know what these people are capable of, right? We're always on guard. So the little girl slides back over to her mama. Her mama gets done with her business. They walk out the bank. And Joy kind of leaves the story there. Then later in the book, she ties this story together when she was in Ghana. Was it Ghana? Yeah, she was in Ghana, right? So she's over in Africa. She's in Ghana. She goes into the bank, right? So now she's in the bank, but the dynamic is different. Everybody in the bank is Black. Everyone in the bank is African. This guy walks in, got his little daughter with him. He's super busy doing something in his notepad. Never even looking down, right? Him and her little daughter walks in. The daughter immediately is like the little white girl, dancing around the bank, talking to the tellers. People are giving her candy. The community is taking care of her, right? Oh. So Joy says she's like in the bank watching this dynamic play out. The dad gets to the bank teller, does his business, turns around, stealing his stuff, walking towards the door, gets to the door, puts his hand down. The little girl grabs his hand. They exit the bank. Now, what she draws for us is freedom. What it actually looks like to be free. What it feels like to just be carefree, knowing that the community got your child's back. That if something were to happen inside of the bank, everybody in the bank would take care of that child. If that child tried to hurt itself or something, somebody would take care of the child, right? As opposed to when it was in San Francisco, had the little Black child go to grab something, who knows, a security guard might grab her. They might try to reprimand her. What's going to happen to the little girl? We are so fearful of what's going to happen to our children in this environment. And that's the slave syndrome, the things that have been embedded and encoded us, survival, right? Like we're just trying to survive, but that stress on the body to constantly have to be aware of it, it really wears on us and tears on us. Whereas when they were in Africa and everybody looks like you and everybody is taking care of you, it's just different. You just feel different. The environment is different. You grow up different. Your habits are different. Your interactions with the community are different. Everything is just different. And that was like one of the most powerful stories that I got, from that book is we don't really know what freedom looks like. And right. it's really sad, right?
You're right. Because, as you were saying all of that to me, I was just saying, yes, here in America, where we're all at, we don't realize when we go to other countries, they got such different lifestyles and live in different habits. And we don't even have a taste of, what they do over there. And it's like, wow, we need to understand that sometimes in other places you need to travel. Don't just confine yourself here to the United States. We see what's going on here. I'm trying to say, that's like I saw that post that you put up. Who ready to get that passport? I already got mine. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I got my passport and I want a dual citizenship somewhere because I want to go. Listen, let's think about it, right? They allow foreigners to come here for 6 months. And then you got to go back home for 6 months, right? Why can't you do the same? Yes. But like you said, that's part of that freedom. But in order to get there, people can't say, well, I can't do that because I got my job. And that's why I always said before I started my business, whatever I do, I need to know that I can go anywhere because I don't like restrictions and no one is going to restrict me again. I like this taste of freedom, like you just said, she said in that book.
Yeah. I mean, such a powerful thing that freedom is everything. But we got to, let's bring it back to what we talked about earlier, really with the miseducation, right? Because we're being taught that Africans in the diaspora, people in Africa don't like you. They don't like you. They hate you, in fact. And, it's so dangerous over there. You can't go to Africa.
Oh, and it's so poor. It's so poor, too.
It's so poor over there. Why would you want to go over there? Don't you want to go to Italy? Don't you want to go to France? Don't you want to go to Dubai? Don't you want to go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa? This is because for 12 years, we've sat inside of these educational systems that have told us that all of the arts have come from Europe. All of the architecture that you need to see comes from Europe. Everything of worthy and thought comes out of Europe. So when we decide to go travel, you go to Europe because that's what you've been built on. But they lying to you. Let me tell you, I've been to Ghana. I've been to Morocco. I can't wait to go back.
Beautiful
place, beautiful people. Get this, Wi-Fi everywhere. They be acting like these folks is living in huts. If I got pictures, if I sent you pictures from rooftop bars I was hanging out at in Accra, Ghana, you wouldn't know what city I was in. You would think I was in LA or something. Like the landscape is beautiful, the mountains in the background, the ocean over there. Man, people are lying to you. We better get out here and explore this world. And the people are waiting on us. They looking for us, right? Man, it's so friendly. Oh man. But on that post, that's what I was saying. Like, let me get my passport. I need to renew my passport. Right. And I had an opportunity to buy some property in Ghana last year. Ooh. And yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it this year because these folks crazy, man.
You must be in my head, Freddie, because that was part of my plan too. And I said, I actually want to go visit first because I'm actually going to go visit Ghana next year. And I said, yeah, the land. And it's just been in my head for a while. The land. I need land. I want land. We should have land. That's our land.
Yeah.
It belongs to us.
It belongs to us. Yeah. And let's go and I want to remind people that Africa is going through the Industrial Revolution, right? This is like being in America 200, 250 years ago. Like if you were in America 200, 250 years ago, free, of course, to operate your business and do whatever you wanted to do, you could be the next Carnegie, right? You could be the next Rockefeller because literally this was the explosion of wealth that happened in America. It's going on in Africa right now. And Black people are acting like, I don't want to be over there, man. Ain't nothing but lions and jungle out there. It's asinine, the conversations that we get into, but it's literally going through the Industrial Revolution. That's why the whole world is over there in Africa, and we sitting on the sidelines watching and then wondering what's going to happen. Like, you better go get involved. I'm going to get involved. So that's why I got on my Dear Mama Africa shirt because
and you see me I came today representing.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. But when history is taught here in the United States, it only starts with the United States. It only starts with slavery. So they right there, boom, they're cutting you off from your root. They're cutting you off from the tree of your people. So all you think about is, oh, we survived so much going through slavery. We so strong as a people. Well, that's true. We are strong as a people. But there was a whole lot that happened before then, right? The best quote I heard was, slavery isn't Black history. Slavery is interrupted Black history.
Lady K.